Other teams might as well buy their tickets to Cancun now because the Celtics are on the path to ban online TV. With us on this journey are Jay King, Sam Packard, Brian Robb, and Sean. So I'm gonna need you all to buckle in because this pod's gonna be a wild ride.
Still particle. The Boston Celtics still particle.
I've never seen anyone lose their season 2 years in a row.
A psychosexual celebration of the Boston Celtics. Welcome back, folks, to Still Bottle, the best Boston Celtics podcast here on Al Gore's Internet. I am Sam J. Packard, professional sports fan, joined from The Athletic, the kid, the god, the legend himself, Celtics beat reporter Jay King, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize, I played the wrong intro. It is not the playoff edition, but it is still a psychosexual breakdown of the Boston Celtics.
I've done that a couple times recently, played that one, and it's even funkier than the normal one.
Yeah, no, it takes it up a notch, and it should be reserved for the playoffs. But T-Money's a legend. He's fantastic.
It's pure joy every time I hear those songs. It's just pure joy.
It's absolutely great. The Boston Celtics are 1 day away from starting the 2025-2026 season. Jay and I is going to share with you our predictions for the season, maybe some NBA predictions, some awards. But first, got to handle brass tacks. The Celtics did practice today. Who was available to the media, and what was the big news coming out of practice?
Who would you guess is available to the media?
Well, Jalen spoke yesterday, so today's a Derek White day, and Joe Mazzulla.
Derek White, Joe, and Nemi.
Hey!
Nemi. The biggest takeaway besides Jaylen Brown's health, which he participated in his second straight full practice. He's listed as questionable for the regular season opener. I would be surprised if he doesn't play in the regular season opener. You don't practice fully twice and then just not play. That's normally not how it goes. So I would be surprised if he misses it, especially considering it's the opener. They'll be cautious with the hamstring, of course, but it doesn't seem very serious. He's been out there. He's been practicing. He's been getting work in after practice. So all signs are good for Jaylen Brown. The other news-ish type thing is that Joe continues to stress he is going to switch the lineups. And he basically said they will not have a set starting lineup. He said, I'm going to get the quote, but it was something like, okay, here, I'll read it. We have a lot of depth and have a lot of guys, and I think we have the ability to play a bunch of different ways. We're not going to go out of our way to do something like that on purpose, but we're always going to try to take advantage of the matchup and what we have. It's the same thing with who's starting, who's finishing, and I think all those things play into this because of the type of guys that we have, because we can go 10 to 11 deep. It could be a combination of what's going well that night versus what gives us the best chance versus that matchup, but it's going to change a lot. He's going to just cycle through lineups. He's going to cycle through bench guys. He is going to sub quickly and cycle through. It's just going to be totally different, I think, than the sort of set rotations of the last couple of seasons. I don't think he knows who should play. I don't think he knows who should start. I don't think he knows who should finish. I think sometimes it's going to be different, and he's kind of trying to coach them to prepare them for that, because I think most guys are used to knowing what's going on, and they're not going to know.
And I don't think Joe knows, because it's like there's like 17 different factors that go into it. It's like, what's the opponent? What are they trying to do? Are they emphasizing defense? Are they emphasizing offense? Do they want to try and get kind of the chaos lineup in there? Do they have enough shooting? And then it's just like, what have you done for me lately? Like maybe Luka Garza starts off and is just like really solid for the first 2 weeks, and you ride the Garza wave, but then he kind of cools off. And so I think there's going to be so much lineup scrutiny this year, because there's like he said, there's like 8 different lineups they could play that you could like reasonably argue are their best 5, but it's all for different moments. And so we have no idea what's going to work. And there's going to be so much, people are going to be like, no, you should have done this. You should have done that. There's going to, and like, I don't think he cares, but it's just like, there's going to be so much scrutiny and second guessing of Joe Mazzulla lineup choices because everyone's going to be like, I have the best starting five. I know what this team needs.
Yeah. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of that. And then I also think they could play so radically different based on who's out there. Like before you knew Jalen and Jason were going to be out there, and just those two guys alone sort of give you a certain identity. And now it's going to be like they could go really small with Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, even Anthony Simons, or you could go like the big agile wings. You could go try to throw Chris Boucher at the 4, which is probably your biggest, most athletic lineup. There's just a lot of different ways you can go, and there's not one that necessarily right now stands out as the best.
They're going to have 6 different identities, and it's going to be like, fuck it, let's like put Ugo and Minot in. Let's do some chaos defense and just
Ugo, Minot, and Boucher.
Yeah, it was like bring in the wild cards.
Crazy.
Like it's gonna be like hockey lines. Like I know they made fun of Jordan Walsh, but I don't think it's gonna be 5 on 5 off. But there's gonna be like bring in the Chaos Emeralds, just like throw those guys in, and well, hopefully we can like score just based on generating turnovers alone.
Yeah, I really think it's gonna be like that, and they're gonna try to play like with that brand of basketball all the time. But based on who's out there, like you could really have like a pressing lineup, you could have like a shooting lineup, you could have like there's just so many different ways you could go. And I think Joe will have fun with it because last few years none of that really changed. Last couple of years I would say. I guess a few years ago he had to make decisions between like Brogdon, Smart, and White, and that was like a thing toward the end of games. And a lot of the time it was like, why didn't you play Derek White?
Yeah.
And then they traded the other guys, played Derek White more. Good things fucking happened. But yeah, I think this is the mixing and matching. I think it's the best way to go. And I think sometimes it won't be matchups. It'll just be like, who's playing well tonight? That guy should finish, because it's not like the same hierarchy there was before. There's like 10 or 11 guys from like after the 5th guy, maybe there's like very little separation between the rest of them, I think. And it's going to be chaos. That's what Joe wants.
Yeah.
Harness chaos.
If you don't have a center, you've got to generate chaos, and that's basically what they're doing. All right, so let's get in.
Nimi's going to start at center, I think.
Yeah, because they have no one else to guard Joel Embiid. But what do you do?
Tillman?
I guess you throw out Tillman.
Tillman's stout. He's sturdy.
He's a foot shorter than him.
So are most guys. Yeah.
All right. So given this chaos, given what we've no idea who's going to actually play or get the majority of the minutes, what is your prediction for this team in terms of their record heading into next season or this season? What do you think?
So I wrote this in my prediction story on The Athletic. Go check it out if you want to, people. I'm not demanding it, but if you want to. I said 45 and 37.
Fuck.
45 and 37.
That was literally the number I just wrote down.
Then we're on the same page. We've been podcasting together for a while. I think it's a wide range though of what could happen. And where I settled on 45 and 37 is I think if they're healthy, they are going to be good. They're not going to be great, but they're going to be good. They're going to be a tough out. They're going to be tough to play against. They have guys who know how to win, who have won a lot of games, who are prideful, who play both ways. And I think they'll be able to. I also think like the way they played in the preseason, the way they approach training camp, I think they're going to come in great shape. They're going to come in knowing what they're trying to do. And I think they're going to start off pretty well. The only thing is like they can't survive injuries. And right now I'm basing the record on pretty good health. But like, and that I say that because Derek White has always been super durable. Peyton Pritchard has always been super durable. Sam Hauser has always been super durable. And Jaylen Brown hasn't been super durable, but he typically plays at least like 60, 65 games. And if you get all those things, then I think they'll be pretty good. But I think it's entirely possible that Jalen goes down for a while and they don't have enough scoring, playmaking, and everything just kind of falls apart.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to be a team. They're going to be in a lot of games. Like they're going to be a highly competitive team, just because I can't imagine Joe Mazzulla not like coaching up a competitive team. And they do have they still have a decent amount of talent. I think this team is not going to be a half court basketball team. And I feel like they're really going to thrive and they're going to be able to win games if they are able to generate turnovers and able to play fast and able to be chaotic. But what concerns me is do they have what it takes to score in close basketball games when they need a bucket in the clutch? Because I just feel like this team's going to struggle in the half court. They could go potentially very small and kind of have a shooting lineup to create more space on offense in the half court. But then that just opens up them to giving up a bunch of defensive rebounds and not really having a center. And so I feel like as games slow down in the fourth quarter, I think this team's probably going to struggle to pull some games out. Games that they're probably going to be in with. I feel like they're going to compete with a lot of these games, but I'm very curious to see what their clutch numbers are going to be, because that's one of my biggest concerns is just half court offense. Will they be able to generate good looks just because they don't have the kind of 5-out situation that they had the last couple of years, and they just don't have 5 two-way players. And so if they try to add extra offense down the stretch for the kind of in the half court, does that take away from their kind of defensive ability? And that's where I think the whole thing falls apart. So I was thinking 45 and 37 as well. What do you think is the absolute upper bound of how many wins they could get? You think they could get to 50?
Yeah, around 50. The East, there's going to be so many easy wins in the East that you rack those up, get a few you're not supposed to, have everybody be healthy and stay on the court. Josh Minot would have to be a contributor. You'd have to your center rotation has to be not that bad, whether it's because Nemi's good, because Tillman really helps, because all of those guys pitch in a little bit and you can just cobble something together. And I just think at the end of the day, Peyton Pritchard is ready for more of a responsibility. Derek White is ready for it. And I know that because we've seen these guys, when players go out, when there's more responsibility, they're able to scale up. And I just trust that. I think that both those guys will have big years. I think Jalen's ready for it. And then I was just surprised by how impressive the backup wings were. And it wasn't like they're going to be all-stars or anything, but I just think you can get away with playing any of those guys and they might help you cause a little chaos. They're going to crash the glass. They're going to force some turnovers, and they'll be deeper than I expected. And I think, that's going to be pretty helpful during the regular season.
What seed do you think 45 wins gets you in the East? Feels like a solid 6 seed.
Yeah, I think 5-6. 5-6. So Cleveland will win more games than that. Orlando will win more games than that. New York will probably win more games than that. And then after those guys, it feels like it's pretty wide open. And Philadelphia could land anywhere. Detroit will probably win more games than that.
If I had to guess the 5 ahead of the Celtics, those would be the 5.
Yeah. And then, I have no faith in Milwaukee. I know Giannis said they're going to be dangerous and
Giannis has to say that.
Stuff. It's Giannis.
Kyle Kuzma still exists.
It could be bad enough for you to request a trade, buddy, even though all your brothers are on the team.
Do you think they have to be included in a trade if Giannis requests it?
That would be pretty funny, actually. I
request a trade for my whole family.
The whole family just gets shipped to New York.
That'd be pretty wild. All right. Who do you think the Celtics MVP is in this upcoming season? And is it just obviously Jaylen Brown? Because I
don't think it's obvious. I think Derek White will be up there.
Is there any other candidate than Jaylen Brown or Derek White?
No. I think it's going to be Jalen, though, because without Jalen, you just don't have any wing who can do everything. And you need wings who can do everything in the NBA. And like I said, the depth surprised me in preseason. We don't know what Josh Minot and Ugo Gonzalez and Baylor Schreiman and Jordan Walsh are going to look like against real NBA competition. It's probably going to look pretty bad at times. It's probably going to look pretty clunky. None of those guys have proven they can shoot. And like, that's not great. So I just
shooting's important. Yeah.
when Jalen's gone, they're going to have a major void in just like the playmaking on the wing. But I think the same thing when Derek White's sitting, it's going to get ugly too. This team doesn't have enough like playmakers, scorers, like gifted basketball players. They have like chaos agents, athletes, but the actual basketball players are kind of few and far between. And
speaking of lineups, I think that's going to be one of the more interesting things. Is like obviously the White and Jaylen Brown are going to start the game together, but then I feel like you got to stagger them. And so who are the 4 guys that work best around each of those people, like to try and like maximize them? I don't know if we have no idea what the answer is, but I think trying to figure that out. So it's like, oh, the stretch to start the second quarter where it's like, those are the Jalen in the bench moments, or like the Jalen solo moments.
I feel like part of that will just be like random. Like last year, you knew like Jalen and Kristaps worked together well.
And it was like Drew and Tatum were like a combo, but like
what's like there's not a player on their team it's going to be like, oh, like he really makes the game easier for Jalen. It's going to be like, no, these other guys, they'll force turnovers, they'll crash the glass, they'll do all the dirty stuff. Jalen's going to have to do the scoring and the playmaking. I just don't think there's like,
if I'm a big man, I'm just working on setting screens for those guys and just like learning the angles like that. Like I need to develop a connection with one of them.
Be super active, be crashing the glass always. Yeah, like that's going to be Garza's job. It's going to be Tillman's job. It's going to be Nemi's job. Like just set screens, set a ton of screens, be active, get those guys open, get them the ball, and make good things happen.
All right. Do you have a bold prediction for this Celtics season?
So we had to do one for a story in The Athletic. Each of our writers did one. I did Derek White All-Star. Derek White All-Star. I think he's going to make the All-Star team. His on-off numbers have always been spectacular. And that's not going to change, especially with the way this team is built. I think when he's off the court, it's going to be really bad. When he's on the court, they're probably going to be really good. And I just think the traditional stats will be there. Like he's going to average 20 points a game. He's going to average a career high in assists. These are things that are going to happen. His usage rate in the preseason was like 28%, which is miles past where it's ever been in his career, especially with the Celtics. So he's already so good at everything else. Giving him the ball more often is going to give him the stats. If they win enough, I see him at least threatening for an all-star berth and being like really, really close. And yeah. I would guess that he gets it.
I'm trying to think of like other Eastern Conference guards. It's like the Cavs by Brunson, Maxey. There's not a lot of other like clear stars out there. Cade obviously will get some consideration, but Halliburton's out. It just feels like the East, because of the lack of talent, LaMelo will probably get voted in because people love LaMelo.
Fools.
You're not a LaMelo guy?
It's just a sign of a bad basketball culture that so many people like him. You don't like winning. You don't like defending. You don't like people who are gritty enough to do the tough things. You just want a guy shooting dumbass one-legged shots from 30 feet all the time.
I was a big LaMelo guy, but then my Puma rep went to New Balance. So now I'm no longer a Melo guy. I'm a big Kawhi guy now, I guess. Cooper Flag. I'm a big flag head. I'm just loyal to whoever gives me free stuff.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a pretty good loyalty to have. But yeah, it's the LaMelo thing. I just don't get the next generation. No,
you're not supposed to get it. We've reached an age where they're just confusing.
Yeah, it's just like the gritty guys, for fuck's sake.
The gritty guys 6'7". I was waiting for you to bring that up. All I don't have a bold prediction. I know I told you that we were doing this prediction podcast, and I mentioned that there was going to be a bold prediction section.
You don't have one?
I think my boldest prediction is Jason Tatum plays March 3rd, and he comes back pretty like earlier than most people are anticipating. But I don't even think that's that bold.
No, I feel like that's kind of consensus statement right now that he'll come back. Not like too early or anything, but on the early side of Achilles recoveries.
Yeah, it just feels
Yeah,
like he's
that's
laying the groundwork. So it's
that's
not
as
the most
bold as
bold.
you get. Why can't you
I mean,
get
Derek
bold?
White All-Star is not that bold. Fuck off.
I mean, he's never made an All-Star team. He's
Jason Tatum's never come back from Achilles tear before, so I think
you got me there. You got me there.
All right, let's expand out a little bit. Move on to NBA. Do you want to do finals? Do you want to do awards? Where you want to go with this one?
How about we do all the awards for the Celtics? So who's going to be their most improved player?
Minot. Gotta be Minot. The man's finally got an opportunity. He's going to shoot 34% from three, and he's going to make a bunch of hustle plays. It's got to be Minot.
So it's tough to call him. Like, I hate most improved because it always goes to the guy who just like finally plays or just gets the ball more. A lot of the time it's those guys. And the Celtics will have a lot of those guys. Like whether it's Nemi, Tillman, Garza, Minot, they've never, at least in Boston, had big opportunities. I think they'll all have bigger opportunities than they've had. Minot, yeah. I mean, it's for the way the most improved player goes. I think it would be he'll fit the mold because he went from not playing at all to I think he'll be a really big piece of what the Celtics do. And I think Derek White and Peyton Pritchard are my other two favorites for this award, the most improved. And not necessarily that they were incapable of scaling up because I've said they've proven themselves, but they've never had to do it before. And there's just a different pressure that comes with needing to be the guy or one of the guys night in, night out versus every once in a while they need you to score 25 or 30. Now it's going to be like there's pressure on those guys every night. If they don't play well, they might lose. So, and I think they'll be up to it.
Yeah, I mean, I was going with the classic. This guy's just finally getting minutes, but I feel like Peyton Pritchard could really step up and have an even larger role. He's just had to done well and getting a bigger role each of the past 3 seasons. I feel like, all right, Peyton, we need you to score 24 points a game. Can you stay that? Can he stay that aggressive and keep taking shots? Because I feel like at some points last year, despite his much improved season, there was just moments where he kind of faded away. But they need him just to get the sheer scoring up, and I feel
Can't fade away anymore.
No, and so I think Peyton Pritchard's a good pick there.
All right, 6th man of the year.
Josh Minot. No,
might be Josh Minot.
Chris Boucher.
I like that.
I think Nemi's going to be the starting center, and then Boucher's kind of going to be the everything guy off the bench. They're going to go small a lot with Boucher at the 5. He feels like he's a hustle player. He's also kind of feels like he's brought some toughness to the team. He's kind of the instigator. I think he's going to become a fan favorite, and I think he's just based on size alone, he's going to be the chaos agent who can play the 5, who's going to be kind of the energy guy off the bench. And so I think Boucher is the guy there.
I'm going Minot here. Minot. I just think he's going to do so much for the Celtics. I think the way they play, they're going to want to get steals and blocks and ramp up the intensity. That's what he's built for. That's what he does. He thrives in transition. He makes pretty good decisions in the open court. And I just feel like he's going to be a big part of their identity. And I mean, he's just a defensive playmaker, and they need that.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by this comment from Leonardo Uzbekistan, which I'm hoping it's not just a guy from Uzbekistan because the name Leonardo Uzbekistan it really rocks. But he says, Jam, care to address the hairline transplant allegations? I'm all natural, folks. I've always had a strong hairline. I don't know if people thought I was balding in the past, but I'll address it as there's
Is
no
that why?
allegation.
Is that why you went overseas?
That I would be bleeding from the head if that was the reason why I went overseas. I took many well-documented pictures from where I was, and I was never in Turkey. Or
Now that he says
Uzbekistan.
it kind of does look like you went through a transplant.
Well, I wasn't balding before. This is where my hairline has been for
I'm-
the past 10 years.
I'm not buying your explanation here. You absolutely had a receding hairline.
I did
and
it. There,
it's
at
gone
no
now.
point have I been accused of having a receding hairline. You've been podcasting with me for the past like 8 years.
What am I gonna do? Tell you well, your hair looks terrible? It's really receding. You need to figure something out.
You would do that. That's exactly what you would do.
No, if you were
I call
fully
you fat all the time.
if you were fully bald, I would do that. But I don't go after the guys who are just losing it a little bit.
I mean, I've been at this hairline my entire life, and frankly, Leonardo Uzbekistan, I don't appreciate.
I think Leo's right on this one. I think
Well-
he saw through your bag of tricks. You pretended to go to a Brighton soccer game, and actually you were getting some hair transplants overseas.
All right. Well, at least that means I look good now, though. So
No, nobody said that.
fuck off. Defensive Player of the Year, Celtics.
Derek White.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious choice.
Derek White.
I think Jalen might compete for it, though. I feel like he's going to have to do a lot. Like he has to guard the other team's best player, pretty much, or best like wing. Derek White's just smaller, so I feel like he kind of got abused by Brunson last year in the playoffs for some moments. There's just like some guys he can guard, but like anyone bigger than like 6'6", I feel like that's a Jalen assignment.
Yeah, but Derek just makes every single rotation, every single play. He's just always on. And it's wildly impressive. Like some of the blocks he makes, the timing of them, and then like he just never ever gives up on a play no matter what. Sometimes he gets wiped out by a screen and then he'll still figure out a way to get back there and make a play. He's the DPOY.
I'd have to agree. I just don't think there's anyone else out there. Rookie of the Year. No other people competing, really. But so Ugo,
unless one of the two-way guys shot up the rankings real quick, but
I don't see that.
I don't anticipate that. I actually think Ugo's going to play, which is cool. If Ugo
He's athletic
plays,
enough to just like compete on the defensive end, and that's all. That's how you need to get on the court.
he's just a winner. Like I don't know if he'll play winning basketball right away because that's a tall task for a 19-year-old. Most rookies, even the really good ones, are not good at basketball right away. Like not helpful. But he's a winning player. He plays a winning brand of basketball. Tough, shares the ball, doesn't do anything that really bothers you out there as a coach. I just think Ugo is going to be a part of things. He'll earn his rookie of the year that he had no competition. Nobody else ran.
All right, who do you think
the
wins
election.
Coach of the Year? I'm going with Joe Mazzulla.
Could he win actual Coach of the Year?
If the Celtics get to 50 wins, I think he is in that conversation. Because Coach of the Year is not actually Coach of the Year. It's coach whose team outperformed expectations. And so if the Celtics come out and are like a top 4 seed and like win that many games, absolutely think he could win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think this is like his best chance yet to win it. Because 2 years ago, like Celtics were by far the best team in the NBA. Wasn't even close. I think he had a tougher job than people realized incorporating Kristaps Porzingis, Jrue Holiday into a pre-existing mix. It was so seamless that nobody gave him credit for it. But this year he'll get credit if they do win. He'll get a lot of credit.
All right.
Coach of the Year is the dumbest. It's just how dumb were the media before the season That's the whole award.
And how dumb are they?
In a lot of cases, pretty fucking dumb.
Speaking of pretty fucking dumb, let's do some predictions for the. Give me your NBA Finals, your winner, and then the league MVP, and then we'll get out of here.
Thunder are going to win again. They're going to beat the Cavaliers in the finals. I don't trust the Cavs at all, like not even slightly. But I don't trust anyone else in the East either. Who the Knicks? I'm not putting them in there. I just think, but the West is going to be tough. There's a lot of teams in the West that will vie for that. I think the Nuggets will be.
That's my pick. Nuggets over Cavs. I think Jokic takes them back. I think they're a little bit of retooled roster there in Denver. They have a bit of more of a bench now, and like you just can't mess with Jokic when he's on. And so I think
I mess with Jokic.
MVP. This is my bold prediction. I think it's going to be Wemby.
Everybody just wants to hand the MVP to Wemby.
That's me. Because he's awesome.
People need to earn it.
He's going to earn it.
People need to earn it.
He's going to earn it.
You saw him overpower Luke Cornett one time in preseason.
That's mostly what I'm basing my thing off. It's like that's terrifying.
You saw him like grab a manly rebound against Jay Huff. Woohoo!
Yeah, he dominated Jay Huff.
Yeah.
Name an MVP. Name an MVP who hasn't dominated Jay Huff.
There's most of them haven't because Jay Huff is not on the court most of the time.
That's prerequisite one for me is dominate Jay Huff, and Wemby checked that box, and so I'm gonna move forward.
I'm one of the few people who wants to see Wembanyama earn his spot near the actual top of.
I want to see him earn it, and he's going to earn it. That's the prediction, Jay. This is not who I'm voting for right now with my MVP pick. I'm saying who I think is going to win it. Because he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and the Spurs are going to be like a 6th seed, and then people are going to go Wemby.
It's going to be Luka to win MVP.
No, the Lakers going to fucking suck. LeBron's not going to play till December.
Doesn't matter. Luka, skinny
Luka. That'll actually probably help his case.
Absolutely. If they're like 7 games over 500 with no LeBron for that long, with not the greatest roster ever, Luka, baby. I got Luka.
It's a fair pick. All right, folks, sound off.
Could be Shea again. Shea could just
could
do
be Shea. It could easily just be Jokic again. Any of these things. But that's why they play the games, folks, and that's why preseason predictions are often wrong. So no one's going to remember that I predicted Wemby unless he actually does real well. And I remind you,
there's a lot of people picking Wemby out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen a few picks.
Damn it! I thought I was being bold and daring.
That's less
fun.
It's early. Let him earn it. That's all I'm asking. Just let him earn it.
The Celtics will have to earn it tomorrow night against Joel Embiid. Still Potable will be back right after the game, the first Potable post game of the season. Look forward to you guys joining us there. Appreciate everyone joined. Appreciate Mouthpiece and Leonardo Uzbekistan for being in the comments of this YouTube right now. Appreciate everyone who subscribed on the Patreon, patreon.com/stillpotable to the podcast. Looking forward to the 2025-2026 season, breaking down all the lineups Joe Mazzulla is going to use. It's going to be very strong discourse and dialogue. We hope you guys can join us there in the Patreon chat, here on YouTube, live on Twitter, and looking forward to the next season. For Jay, for B-Rob, for Sean, I'm Sam Jam Packer. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Still Potable.
Still Potable, Still Potable. The Boston Celtics Still Potable, Still Potable.
Oh, yeah.
Go down from eating and drinking and all that wild stuff.